Now.
All right, well, we're back, everyone. This is Lauren and Tom with the Yoga Philosophy Group at the Yoga Center of Chico. In this series, we're studying the Bhagavad. We're currently studying the Bhagavad Gita and how it relates to your life. One of the things that people said they wanted was some practices of how to better relate this in the here and now. We're we're using this. Okay, let me get it in focus. There we go. Oops, there we go. We're using this version of the Gita by Eknath Esproen, but you can use any version that you like. Today we're studying chapter 14. Each chapter / session is recorded and can be found on the Yoga Center Chico's YouTube channel. So check it out there. And we designed this course so you could follow along without having to be involved in person, but you certainly can come by the studio the fourth Thursday of every month and be involved in the chat, or you can follow along with the YouTube videos. We meet on the fourth Thursday at 5:30. So I'll be back after Tom's presentation on this chapter with a couple of suggestions on how that you might want to try to relate it to your life. Now I'm honored to introduce the presentation of this chapter and one of the co-owners of the Yoga Center of Chico, Tom Hess. Tom?
Thank you, Lauren. And we continue on with the Gita. This chapter 14 is called The Forces of Evolution. The evolution that Krishna is talking about here is the spiritual evolution, the evolution from darkness to light, from ignorance to understanding, the evolution of seeing the true self within us. And one of the unique features of this chapter is Arjuna doesn't start the chapter off with a question. Krishna just starts right in with an explanation about what eventually is an explanation of the three gunas: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. And we will get into all of the descriptions in these three. It's very, very important. These were words, and the gunas were words that we started in week one, or even before week one, as we suggested that you learn these words. And here we are again, and we're going to look at these three words in much deeper context. So these three words are the gunas, and they're basically qualities within all of us that exist at all times within all of us. You never or don't have one of these three qualities, but the proportion of these three qualities change within each individual, and this is where the potential for transformation and evolution lies, when we can move from one of these qualities to another. That's basically what we're looking at here. So we're going to look at these gunas. So Krishna begins the chapter by telling Arjuna that this is the best of all knowledge. But as we have known before, Krishna tends to repeat this because in the previous chapter, he'd also called this understanding the true self is the best of all knowledge. So these are all tied in together. So it's still the best of all knowledge. And then Krishna gives an example of how creation begins. Prakriti, remember Purusha and Prakriti, right? These two concepts that exist in all places at all times. Prakriti, the elements of nature. Purusha, the element of Brahman, Krishna, unmanifest energetic form that lives in all places. Okay, so what Krishna is saying is how things are created is Prakriti, which is all of nature, is the womb, and Krishna is the seed that enters the womb, that then life is created. So he gives this little look at it at the beginning. And then he goes into talking about the three gunas. The sattvic guna is pure, luminous, free from sorrow. But this is the key. What I'm about to say here is the key. even though it's this elated state of sattvic quality, it still has something that binds us. It's still an attachment. It attaches, we're attached to happiness, to wisdom, because that is the fruit of the sattvic quality, wisdom and knowledge. And who doesn't want wisdom and knowledge and happiness? So these are the things that we're attached to. Krishna even tells us to get rid of these attachments to wisdom and happiness. They're an attachment. We're bound by them. The Rajasic is they're attached to the Rajasic quality is passion. This passion is derived from selfish desire and attachment. Okay. This Rajasic quality binds itself to the big S self within us, binds in us, and it leads to compulsive action. It leads to this continually moving in the world. And let's be clear about it. We all need a little bit of this quality, this Rajasic quality, to live our lives, to go through things, to have accomplishments, get a job. And so there's quality. They're not bad qualities. They're just something to be looked at. And then the tamasic quality is born of ignorance, delusion, and it binds us to delusion. We're bound to this ignorant way of looking at the world. The way of transforming from Rajasic to tamasic, it's when Rajasic quality and tamasic quality are transformed or transcended, one becomes sattvic. So you have to go through these qualities, beginning with the tamasic quality, leading to the Rajasic quality, ending up at the sattvic quality. But even then, you have to go beyond that. Okay. The Rajasic quality predominates when the sattvic quality is weak, and the tamasic quality is overcome with the actions of the Rajasic quality. So remember, Rajasic is the activity, and if you're weak at the top, the sattvic quality is weak, Rajas is going to take over. It's going to be the actor. It's going to be the doer. It's going to get things done, the leader of the pack. Okay. The tamasic quality prevails when sattvic and Rajasic are just dormant, and that's the lowest state. I imagine there's qualities of the tamasic, but it's still a dormant state. Okay. What are the actions of these, of the person who has these three qualities? The sattvic person is full of knowledge, full of light, full of wisdom, sharing, compassionate, understanding with the world, but they're still bound to it. They're attached to it. Okay. The Rajasic person is, they pursue wealth, selfish, they pursue their own ends, and they feed their desires. Okay. The tamasic person lives in the quality of darkness, sloth, and is confused. Just in that. And again, there's proportions of these in each of us. Okay, when you die, you are reborn. A sattvic person is reborn in the worlds of the wise. They have this quality of light about them, knowledge, wisdom, their understanding, and then when they get reborn, they just get higher up that evolutionary chain. The Rajasic people are reborn amongst the workers. That's their nature. That's their karma. That's their samskara. I see this Rajasic quality in me a lot. We're workers. We get things done. We proceed, and you're going to get reborn in that way. The tamasic are conceived in the wombs of the ignorant. They're the people who are born under conditions that's not conducive to their spiritual growth. Okay. What are the fruits of being sattvic? Good deeds for the person of the sattvic nature. They do good deeds in the world. They're the people who are the helpers, the people who are enlightened, the people who teach of a certain quality. The outcome of the Rajasic quality is greed, attachment. the outcome of the tamasic quality is confusion, ignorance. So each of these qualities, the result of being like this in each of these qualities are these outcomes. So sattvic people go upwards, they're moving up the spiritual ladder, so to speak. Tamasic people, rajasic people remain where they are, and tamasic people tend to go backwards in their evolutionary scale. And this is the thing. We want to see how we as individuals can move from the tamasic state to a rajasic state to a sattvic state. I'll give you a little bit of an example. Let's say I get up in the morning and I want in my mind to practice. Okay. Without the action to get myself on the mat, that's not going to happen. So the mind needs to instill action to move from tamasic to rajasic. Then it's up to me in my rajasic state what actions I choose to do. I can do many things, but I think it's clear that Krishna is telling us throughout the whole text that there are things that you can do to further your evolution up the sattvic scale. Okay. The wise, they see this interplay of the gunas within them, and they work to overcome them so they can unite with Krishna and not be bound to any of the three gunas. And that's when the wise become one with Krishna and then are not reborn, according to this whole frame. Okay. They leave behind the cycle of birth and death and attain immortality. Then Arjuna does have one question in this chapter, and he asked Krishna to describe those who have gone beyond the gunas. And again, we get this description. I remember the last chapter. There was one area in it where he was talking about the qualities of the self, the big S self, quality of the knower. Now we're looking at the quality of one who has gone beyond the gunas, which is basically the same thing. They are unmoved by the harmony of the sattvic qualities. In other words, they're unmoved by pleasures and pains of life, the ups and downs of life. They're unmoved by the activities of the rajasic, whether they be good activities or bad activities, positive or negative. This person who has gone beyond the gunas isn't attached to the outcome of any of those gunas. It seems to me, freeing. Mr. Iyengar talks about the ultimate freedom. There's even a little video about it. And he refers to that often. And that is what we're talking about here, this freedom from the attachments to these gunas, because they're all attaching. They are not unmoved by the activity of the rajas and the delusion of the tamasic. They dwell in the true self. They dwell in their own self. They're equal in pleasure and pain. All of nature is equal to them. They give up selfish pursuits. These are all qualities of that person or person who has gone beyond the gunas. And then by serving Krishna with steadfast love, they go beyond the gunas. They're fit for unity with Brahman. Krishna is the support of Brahman, the source of all joy. Purusha, we get back to this idea of Purusha. So this gives a little framework about what to look at within ourselves, how to see which of these states we're in, and how to move from one state to the next, up the evolutionary ladder. So thank you. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, last month was the field of the knower, where the suggested practice was to spend some time getting to know the three parts of your mind, the manas, the ahamkara, and the buddhi. Now we're going to shift that focus from that practice and use the same mental concentration to take a look at things. And you might make a meditation out of a few of these. Take a look at some things around you in your environment and see if you can't discriminate all three of those characteristics that Tom was talking about in the object. My personal favorite is, that goes way back, is to take an ice cube outside and watch it melt and then dry up. It goes through 3 different phases. And it's kind of a reminder of seeing all 3 phases in any particular object, whether it's moving or not. Trees are good, another good personal favorite of mine. Solid in the ground, but moving in the wind. And then with a few of those practices, you could once again turn inward and see if you can't pick out those 3 qualities as they occur in yourself. Or if you're not quite there, you could pick somebody that you know, a friend. You could pick Tom and see and see if you can't just see those qualities demonstrated coming out in that person, and take a look at which one is more dominant, and does it shift? Can you actually see the ratio of the 3 shifting over a period of time? It's a mental discipline, it's a practice, but it's also can be fun to do. So with that, we'll wrap it up, and hopefully we'll see you all in the studio or on, I forgot to mention, online. We do open up a Zoom live entryway through the internet when we do our live sessions on Thursday at 5:30. Tom, any last words?
Nope, that's it. Thank you, Lauren. Bye-bye, everybody.